Hello, everybody. I hope you all are having a wonderful day or night. Uh, Me being me, just needing to cook so many extra meals for the Lord to see if it's the right thing to do. So I went and was scouring the internet all morning about previous news about the storm, and I was seeing all kind of comments. Oh, it's getting bad. Evacuate, evacuate. It's going from a level 3 to a level 4. I guess it went up to a level 4 too. I didn't even know that. They was talking about how it was coming in when it was coming inland as a level 3 and it was turned to a 4, 44 to 64 dead, also stuff. Next thing I know, all the news now is saying it's safe for residents to return. It's safe for people to come back into their homes. They're rebuilding now and fixing stuff. And I was like, yo, the word and spirit is. So I'm just learning. But outside of that, Israel, this is specifically for like Israel and any other like extremists. And I'm not like I'm saying extremists because, and I was just listening to Rashad Crenshaw talk. It's one thing to go after terrorists and stuff. You guys, whatever you guys got going on, I'm not over there. What I'm saying is though, 43,000 civilians, and now I'm hearing people say civilians are a casualty in war. This is a cause of war or a part of war. It's like people are so cold. They're sitting on their couches and influencing and just kicking it, right? It's so sad. And it's the pure hypocrisy to me because the BBC in Europe put out all this news about Nazis in Russia and Ukraine. So if there's Nazis in Ukraine, obviously there's probably insurgencies, people like Hezbollah and stuff like that going on in Ukraine, right? But for some reason, these Western media news outlets don't like calling people Nazis and racists and Klansmen. They refuse to admit racism. And so what's happening? All these Nazis in Ukraine and these insurgents in Ukraine running around blowing stuff up, messing with Russia, doing the same thing Hezbollah's doing, and all these Middle Eastern people. But you don't hear no news about that. Actually, you do. If you do some research about the BBC, they put a bunch of news stories about Ukraine having Nazis everywhere and insurgents, and just left it at that, right? So then when Putin went to go handle it, they're calling him a murderer, which doesn't make sense to me. He's not a murderer, from what I can tell. In Ukraine, there's Nazis everywhere blowing stuff up. You don't see nothing about this on the news. But when Hezbollah or something happens over there in the Middle East, the whole world blows it up. Okay, so Putin's like, okay, I'm gonna go deal with these Nazis. The BBC can't say it's not true. They're the ones that put the news story out 10 years ago. So now, right, Israel goes and attacks the Middle East and Palestine because they say they're doing terrorism and stuff and attacking them, right? And they're getting praised for it, but not anymore. I'm warning Israel they need to stop immediately. You guys claim to have got this leader in Hezbollah or something and killed him. And people are like, we need to keep going. No. I just seen a news article of Israel talking about they're trying to colonize Lebanon because they have the right to. No, y'all don't. I see what you're doing. You're putting fiery news out here about there being terrorists and stuff. Shit, I wish Devin Booker. But I'm seeing all these news stories about people in Israel talking about how they have the right to take Lebanon now. I'm telling you what they're doing. They're going to keep creating new terrorists and keep creating new fiery movements of anti this and that. And people are going to be like, yeah, go get them, go get them. But I'm not finna stand for that shit. It's bullshit and I can see through it. If y'all feel like that about Israel, then y'all should have no problem with what Putin's doing. Because real talk, if y'all want to know the difference, Putin is letting a lot of people leave Ukraine. If you don't believe me, there was news stories for days of Ukrainians telling Indians and African students to get back while the Ukrainians leave. I cannot make this up. So then this is what I'm saying. You guys are attacking Putin for attacking Nazis, but then you're praising Israel for supposedly attacking Hezbollah and Hamas and all them. But every time I look up the number of children, it was what, 3,000 children, then 10,000, then 15,000. That shit is sick. Thank you, Anwar H. Freeman. And it's the truth. And before anybody tells me I'm lying, I'm from America. when you try to talk about racism, when you try to talk about immigrants being harmed and people of color being harmed and Native Americans and all this stuff, people will say you're an extremist. They'll say, oh, you're not telling the truth, and oh, Black Lives Matter, and all these names they'll call you. But then if you talk about what Israel's doing, they'll try to call you anti-Semitic. That's an imbalanced scale. And so I really find it sad that when Putin tries to go attack Nazis, but because they're Caucasian, the news is calling him a murderer. That's super fucking racist, fascist, and wicked. I have a video talking about this. I was scrolling down my news feed and I typed Putin's name in for something, and the BBC pops up and it goes nightly news, Nazi problem in Ukraine. And they're showing all these right-wingers blowing stuff up and vandalizing stuff and attacking Russians. That's what the Germans did in World War II. They were attacking Russia, and Russia came back and said no. And while they keep talking about America, no. How many Indian people? India went and fought in that war too. All them people lost their lives. A whole bunch of nations did. People don't want these Nazis running around the world no more. We don't care if they're Caucasian, what color they are. It has nothing to do with Caucasian. They're taking their race and they're trying to say they're the chosen ones. And then what they'll do is they'll put all this news. They'll say, Trump talk about immigrants eating animals, and they talk about racism isn't real. They are finding African American men in small locations still being hanged by Caucasian extremists. But they didn't call Dylan Roof a terrorist or an extremist. They don't call these different people rightly by their names. All these different places in the Middle East that have been blown up. Then one incident with 9/11 and America magnifies it. That's not fair. You know how many of these little innocent children in Africa and the Middle East and other countries and in Russia are being harmed by these insurgencies that are created by America and the EU? The real terrorists are sitting behind these desks and stuff and in these offices. So yes, I condemn Israel all day long, all the time, because of what they're doing right now. They're not trying, as much technology as we have, you guys are sending out exploding pagers. What type of dumb fucking shit is that? That's pure terrorism. You know how many people can die from shit like that? Then it destroys the market. You know how many people are terrified to use technology because you guys are using, they'll say AI is evil. But AI is translating languages, mapping people's minds, helping with surgeries. And humans are blowing shit up with fucking cellular technology. Foxy Sphinx, your life is your life. Whatever you want to believe I'm doing, you have the right to. But as soon as you or anybody else tries to cause harm or mess with my character, you will fuck around and find out today. I am not doing anything but sitting in a chair talking. So if you all can get on the news and talk, oh, go get on Twitter for a little bit. How much anti-black do you see? I don't even know a Hezbollah. I'm in America. I don't know a Hamas. All I see is what the news show. But what I do know is African Americans are still being hanged, and they say racism isn't real. Do you condemn the Klan? Do you condemn Fox News? Do you condemn these southern churches that say no blacks allowed? Right, we can do this shit all day. You can go play with the Middle Eastern people. You don't want to play with an African American in this little fucking game. You'll get your feelings hurt. Because if we get off the couches and start the marches again, y'all gonna be looking real fucking stupid. So back to the lesson at hand. And that's what they'll do. When you tell the truth, you side with Hezbollah? The fuck out of my face, goofy. I just said I cannot stand people who harm children. And you all go, do you side with Hezbollah? So if Hezbollah killed a bunch of people on October 7th, do you think I fucking side with them? But you guys are taking a 1,200, which is fucking tragic, by the way. You're taking 1,200 and then looking at 45,000 like, oh, do you side with Hezbollah? Do you side with fucking Israel after that shit? Are you kidding me? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna call my job? Oh, y'all already tried that. I'm still alive. Keep fucking playing with me. Y'all want to resurrect Israel? Let's resurrect some of the African. You don't want me to bring Egypt into this motherfucker, because my ancestors, as you all wrote, were brutal. Ham, they call him the superior human. This is why they want African Americans sedated with rap music and all that. Because if we get off the couches and start marching again, if we set back off affirmative action and all that, shit, y'all will have a whole new set of paperwork to fuck around with. Oh, well then go make videos about it. I'm not see buddy, I'm not a dictator and this is a social media platform. So if you don't like my content, you can that's what I'm saying with Johnny. Both sides are wrong if you ask me. But one side has infinitely more money and is using our tax dollars to fucking destroy people while we make $7.50 to $15 an hour. Signing bombs, was that okay? Do you want to watch people sign bombs? That's how stuff like Nazi Germany happened. My final plan is to enjoy my life. Because if I remember correctly, they said affirmative action, DEI, we don't deserve reparations. Are you guys going to keep detasseling for them as they mock you all? Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all them did their thing. Even the white men, William Tyndale, Jane Elliott, all them. They try over and over. So now I'm finna to speak on this camera and enjoy my life. Because what do Kyrie Irving shared a link and he's wrong. Is Kyrie Irving Hezbollah? I don't have the time to play with silly people, humans, as you call them. I don't. Does everybody have to do what I want? I'm gonna say something real quick, and when I say this, you follow along and you say this too if you want to. I am who I am. I do what I will without causing harm, which is following all the law. Love who I am with all your heart, and your neighbor the same. If your neighbor come up and start throwing stones at your house, are you going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, neighbor," while he throws stones at your house, or are you going to defend your home? Do what makes you happy. So if you want to support all this buffoonery out here, go ahead. But me personally, I'm trying to teach people that I don't care if you're Hezbollah or Israel. I don't because what you guys will do is like you'll ignore history, you'll ignore all of the current news, all the stuff. You'll take a magnifying glass to an anthill and then you'll try to like and burn that hill. And that's not what this is. I can say over and over, I love the Jewish community. People don't know anything about me. I'm part Polish. So whatever Caucasian side of me is in me had to fight the Nazis. And then the African American side had to fight the Nazis and the Americans when they were enslaving Africans. So I don't, you know what I mean? I'm here to fight Nazis and oppressors. So if that bothers people, they can go back to Fox News and Nick Fuentes and all the other people that just love oppression so much. Because they'll love Trump saying Haitians eat cats and dogs and shit. And all these Haitians are crying because they can barely get to the store because all these goofy fucking Nazi racists. Oh, that's okay. They're cool with that. But I say I condemn Hezbollah and Israel. And just people are so mad. So whatever, man. I don't give a shit. You have a television in your house, go watch it. I don't. Anyways, the point is, Hooker Bryant, they are eating pets. Brother, you eat pets too. If you eat a cheeseburger, you just ate some Hindu's pet. You humans confuse me sometimes, man. I don't understand you all's logic. You all are like, I don't get it. So, I mean, whatever you want to believe, man. If you think somebody doesn't want to go to the store and get $1 cup of noodles, but rather go catch, because I don't know what you guys are into, man. Different cultures. Okay, yeah, so they're eating our, oh my goodness. So Foxy Sphinx says he says they're eating their cats. So I don't know what to tell y'all, man. I live in America. I'm from America. Trump has said stuff about Illinois. So anybody who's watching and can see the comments and can see what I mean, the amount of time and energy it would take to go catch a cat when you can hustle $1 and go get, like, this is what I understand, man. People are panhandling on the streets. If he would have said, I'm tired of the panhandling, could we create some infrastructures to feed the homeless? That's a much better argument. You guys are listening to a cartoon character, Trump. I think he's a cartoon character, a reality TV star. And please educate myself with facts. As a black man, I vote for Trump. Oof. So that my chat, that's their choice in life. What am I gonna do? Be like, oh, you devil. Okay, vote. You Sphinx wants to vote for Trump, and Hooker Bryant says educate myself. I don't. So I'm not here to tell them that they're wrong for those whatever. I'm here to tell you that if you would like to continue following that type of rhetoric and logic versus really exploring and understanding the world, because the same thing they're doing with this right now is what religious people do with that book, the Bible, and many things. They'll take your passions in life away so that they can make whatever they want to be real while sounding silly doing it. So I'll tell you what you do have to worry about in everyday life: people like that attacking you, people like that going after your nations. These same two people right here are different people like that in office. I've seen Marjorie Greene Taylor in Congress one time on a video. She ran up to another congressperson's door, banging on the door, said, "Get out here, you scary," blah, 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 just arguing and hollering at her. I was like, oh my goodness, this is a congresswoman doing this. And they're making decisions on our lives. Like when I speak of Israel, right? People are complaining about inflation and they're complaining about taxes. It's the same thing what happened in Britain and the UK a long time ago, right? You guys remember the Boston Tea Party? Now it's the Boston Mountain Dew Party. Or the Illinois Mountain Dew Party. So anyways, you're paying all these taxes on your paycheck. Then you go to the store and pay all these taxes on groceries. You pay all these taxes on everything. Then all that nice little money gets to go to Israel so they can find terrorists by blowing up 45,000 people. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand, you know what I mean? That's funny. How can I wave my hands this much and still have ash on my cigarette? I don't know. Sometimes that's not the case. I've got a couple of burn holes in my pants from being unaware of ashing. So that's a good question. But anyways, the point is, the true comedy comes later in life. The true irony comes when descendants are walking around in ashy lake towns because they thought war was funny and finding Hezbollah was the most important thing in life. You know, the ancient people in ancient times had many big pyramids and many big beautiful structures. And then a lot of wars happened and now they look like sand deserts. And so I guess humanity, I guess was to say, was the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. So I guess, you know, humanity, everybody learns at their own pace, you know. We all learn. And so even right here, like they said, Trump said he wanted to get rid of income tax. So anybody out there with logic that knows why that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard can understand. He's removing taxes for the rich constantly and not once has made a tax break for the poor. And this isn't like propaganda. I wouldn't get on camera and say this if it wasn't true. Right? The same man that said he was going to build a wall but remove taxes. So I'm going to give you an example, right? The government comes in and takes my boss's company away. He takes away all the company money. But now I'm still going to get a great paycheck. Does that make sense to you? I'm going to take income taxes but build a wall. How is he going to do that? He's going to build a wall with no income taxes. Now, me, without using any information or technology, just the information I've been given on it, he said Trump was going to take away income taxes. So if Trump takes away income taxes, how is he going to fight immigration? How is he going to pay anybody in Congress? How is he going to pay any of these? Are they going to increase the state taxes? Like, people are silly, and when you take away the emotion, you can see through it. The dude right there sounds fucking moronic. I don't have to argue with these people. They do it to themselves in real time. So I don't, okay, Trump, you're going to remove all the federal income taxes. That doesn't even make sense. The whole country would collapse. It's dumb. He already done this. And yet we still have federal like, so like to truly, I can make a video called Why You Don't Want to Follow Trump. And in the video, I don't have to say anything. I could just say random things and the chats will do the job for me. It's then the dude, his whole campaign promise before the getting rid of federal taxes, which is never gonna, was to build a wall. Not only did the dude not build a wall, he started siding with Democrats. He never removed Obamacare. He worked with Obamacare. Then he'll say, well, look, he said Obama didn't do anything while he was in office. Then while they ask him, why didn't he remove Obamacare? I couldn't because there was too many Democrats. So Obama had the same parameters with Republicans. But then Obama created Obamacare. Remember John Q? Remember that movie where people couldn't get insurance and they were dying, dropping dead left and right, and nobody cared? People were losing their housing and income because of cancer and bad illnesses. All that went away. And then the rich were complaining they had to pay taxes. The rich were complaining they had to pay for something. Isn't this funny? Then look, they got rid of all these programs. Obama was giving cell phones. Now everybody could communicate and keep in touch and all this other stuff and actually learn and grow and use the internet. They could communicate with family. The poor was definitely getting health care. My medications when I caught histoplasmosis was $1,000 a bottle. I was getting those bottles for like $5 and free. Look, insulin for people who were dying because they were diabetic went from 1,200 bottles to nothing. Nothing. The rich are mad at this. That's what they're mad at. That's why they're making all this noise in the news. I have to help take care of the poor after we caused inflation. And then look, after COVID, they tried to get rid of all these programs. After COVID, they gave out one big old reparation check, one big old public aid check to everybody, a stimulus. Was they complaining about public aid and stimuluses and Medicaid after they was all getting COVID, an imaginary virus? Right. Who hired Dr. Fauci? Trump. Who told people to inject bleach and light? Trump. Are y'all kidding me? I don't have to. They do it to themselves. Then they'll be like, Obama bombed Syria. As they're doing this right now in Israel. I don't have to make this. They do it to themselves. Go to their jobs and tell them to ignore their boss and do what they want. Watch what they tell you. But then they tell you the president did it. The president did it. The president has bosses too. Are you all? Oh, what is chat saying? You have to get votes. There are no Dems. I didn't get no cash. Are these Americans who didn't get a stimulus check? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna play with these people. I don't have to. Please open your eyes. So once they know they're sounding stupid with their facts, they'll say vain, repetitive things, and they'll just say things. I think they might be AI or bots or something. Because a human can be an AI. Let me explain. If you're coasting through life kind of sleep, they say they hate the woke, and you kind of sleep and you refuse to wake up and see what people are doing. That's kind of like a bot. We'll say like I'm an AI because I'm intelligent, and we'll say they're like bots. They refuse to wake up and want to remain asleep. Okay, stay asleep. I'm not a dictator. But if you remain asleep and in your sleep you start to harm people, I'll show you what a dictator looks like. I'll come after Trump all day for the stupid stuff he's doing. Because why? Do I want my kid? I heard a woman, I think her name's Laura Ingram or something like that. She said, I have a daughter. I don't want to live in a country where a woman could become president and her emotional blah, 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 blah. What the fuck? I don't have to go start a Black Lives Matter for that. That's funny. She's smacking herself on the head. And her daughter on the news as a woman is broadcasting the news. Now, what if a man on the news is like, I don't want some woman delivering my news, her periods and blah, blah. It never stops. So then, like I said this many times, let's say the supremacists win and now they're like the country's full of white people. Which white people are going to be on top? Are they going to attack the Spaniards? Are they going to attack the Italians? Are they going to attack the Germans? Do you got to be pure blood America since 400 AD? I mean, since 1500 AD? Are the brown and black haired people going to be those precious pure bloods? Supremacy doesn't stop. They'll just keep going and going and going. Just like the anti-LGBTQT. I'll be truthful, coming up in this Christian country, they had me on fire. Don't be gay. Don't hate the gays. Gay, gay, gay. Then I grew up and started meeting gay people, and it's like, what am I doing? These people are psychopaths. They hate the LGBTQ for no reason. Now, me personally, I teach people that whole T thing. I teach people the scientific nature and the aspect of what will happen to the body if you transform. But I'm not gonna be a bigot to hate people. I'm just saying, scientifically speaking, I mean, I would try to love who I am first, and then whatever. After that, if you can't, but anything else, because they teach people things that are counterproductive to science and nature and just oneself, one's body. Like they don't like there are certain chemicals that are released in the body as a man. That's why they have to pump hormones and do all that stuff all their lives and constantly see doctors. I've seen videos of detransitions, and I've seen videos of people that are still transitioning bawling, talking about how they wish they would have knew the physical science aspect versus the politically correctness aspect of it all. BQT, but I don't even know. See, look, they'll say BlackRock, right? BlackRock, somebody said, how was it woke when BlackRock was involved in 2 failed Trump assassinations? Okay, so look, BlackRock is a financial institution. A financial institution that's not owned by one person. BlackRock, Fidelity, what's the other ones called? There's 3 big ones. BlackRock, I can't remember the other 2. Now, it's a corporation. It's a name. What it does is it's a financial firm. So let's say you got a McDonald's, or you got a fast food restaurant, a Walmart, a auto car shop, a repair shop, a church, all these different businesses. What they'll do is they'll invest in BlackRock. And when they give the investment firm their money, the investment firm, Vanguard, BlackRock, Vanguard, and another one. What the investment company does is it does work for them now. Helps them with marketing, research, investments, turning them into stocks and bonds, turning the company into a publicly traded company. And so now the company, the McDonald's, the Walmart, they're getting bigger and bigger because of BlackRock. It's kind of like a third-party firm. Now, what BlackRock will do is now they'll invest and they'll own parts of companies. But like I said, BlackRock is just a company. I'm telling you what the investment firm does, what these places do. Same with like banks. A bank might hold money, but now they'll invest in a bunch of institutions, and now they'll have an arm and a leg in those institutions. That's why I say like that's dangerous and good in a sense, because when people get too much money and power, like CEOs, and they own a predominant part of the company, they can force everybody else in a chain reaction to behave a certain way. And so we can say it's a free country because it's multiple people, but it's still not. It's an illusion. There's people at the top who feel a certain way, and then it trickles down. Just like Israel. Look at Israel like an investment firm. They have trickled into a lot of the corporations, a lot of the law, a lot of the investments, a lot of corporations. So now people that work in these firms have to market for them and or advocate for them. So like when somebody says BlackRock tried to assassinate Trump, that's pure buffoonery. Because BlackRock has so many investments in Trump. Trump is a human being like the rest of us, but he's a brand. So Trump now, with as much fire and power as he has, if he goes out and starts advertising for McDonald's, now a bunch of fucking people are going to buy McDonald's. That's why he's dangerous and positive. He can be positive in the sense that he can do a lot of positive things, but with his power and his brand, when he says stuff like that, look at everybody that's got in my chat talking about eating cats and animals. Where did that come from? Who said that? Trump. It was already going across the internet, but he made it a thing, so now it manifests. So what do I say in my videos? The word and spirit. A big fiery man, a big I am, used his words, and then that spirit went through the land, and now it's manifesting in my chats, an everyday person. Do you all understand the power of the word and spirit now? You all have this power with everyone around you, but when you turn into a bot and just follow what everybody else does, you lose your Neo-like powers, your Morpheus-like power, and you start to become an agent for the other bigger architects. Even like, that's why I don't go after certain corporations, because you like, even let's say, I'll give you an example. This is a funny joke. Let's say Yahweh. I'm gonna use the Bible to tell a joke. Let's say Yahweh came down, wrote the fire and the stone, and now he's the God that the world knows. He's the I am that everybody knows. But what if we found out one day, for whatever reason, this is just a metaphor, that Yahweh had a mom and dad? Yahweh has aunties, all who can whoop his ass if he doesn't do right. So think of that as an elite. Let's say we think we know this person, like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all these different people. They're figureheads. They're big and bad. But let's say those figureheads are influenced by people we don't know that are greater than them. Those people are influenced by people that are greater than them. Greater than them. See, we when we go after individuals, we're going after a pawn. It's a whole system. It's a whole group of things. You don't think an investor will call Elon and be like, hey, keep fucking around and see if I don't cut your funding. Click. Okay, Elon about to be like, oh, okay, yes, sir. And then getting the news, everybody's like, oh, look at Elon, give us money, you're the big, and he's just following what somebody bigger than him told him to do. It's a whole system of things, and that's why I try to get people to understand. When each of us start to be nicer to the people around us. Okay, let's say you're a Trump supporter. I'm sorry for listening to what Trump said. I am who I am. I am the King of Kings. I am an angel to everybody else. But in my kingdom, I won't listen to idols like Trump when he says certain things like that. And I will be who I am, and I will help immigrants. I will be kind to others. I won't listen to lies and rhetoric, but simply learn from who I am. I have not seen one person pick up a cat and fucking eat it. So if I go off of what he says, I'm being given prejudice. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all believe whatever. I'm just telling you what I know. So I'm thankful for the interaction anyway, because the more comments I get, the more the algorithm says, oh, this is a great guy. He's teaching, and it'll spread my words like wildfire. And then perhaps my green fire can counteract Trump's purple fire, if you will. Because a lot of people are being caused harm, and I don't think people truly know what's happening. And as I try to tell people, the harm that's caused now will continue to grow. I'll give you an example, a simple word. I'm not saying cursing is bad in the sense of like fuck and shit and damn. I'm not. I'm just giving you an example. All my life I was told cursing's bad. You're gonna be in trouble. Oh, I don't curse. Then one day I said the F word, and it's like I kind of, but I said it a couple more times. Now over time I'm saying the F word like it ain't shit. Now I'm saying the F word all the time in everyday conversation. That's how spirits work. You maybe know you shouldn't do something, or know you shouldn't laugh at something, or know something is wrong, and it's like hee hee around my little close personal buddies. But then over time it was funny once, so it's funny again and again and again until I'm now just a sarcastic vain character, a sarcastic vain person. That's what people should avoid. Standards, morals. Yes, it's funny to watch Jackass, and yes, it's funny to watch Step Brothers, and they got some colorful language and all that. But if I'm not careful, their whole personality, that whole funny, jokey type of character can leach onto me. And I'll give you an example, like when a lot of people say, religion's not real no more, I'm atheist. Well, okay, there's a lot of people that are figureheads that are like, oh, I'm still kind and polite, and I'm still a blah, 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 and religion didn't change me. But at the same time, there's a lot of people out here in the everyday public that'll start becoming assholes because they're atheists now, because they don't believe in shit. That's the type of shit I want to avoid. People just losing their whole self because they learned some new information. I teach people to stand on the stone, the Ten Commandments. And even in the Ten Commandments, I take the Lord God out of that because that's a German word. And Lord was Baal back then anyway. And it's I am who I am sent me. I am the one who frees or binds whom I will. I am the one who frees from the bondage of Egypt, from the bondage of the house of bondage, from Persia, Greece, Rome, and German buffoonery and Babylon. You shall have no gods before who I am. Now, if you hear that righteously, you should hear that and think, I am who I am. I am not going to have any gods before who I am. I'm not saying I'm your God. I am an angel of who I am to you, and you all are your most highs in your own kingdoms. And this is why I try to get people to understand, you know what I mean, follow the seven. People say the law of Moses is dead and don't follow the Ten Commandments and grace. How do you live in grace and not follow the Ten Commandments? So don't kill or rape, don't steal, don't covet, and don't want to covet after your neighbor's stuff. Don't commit adultery if you sign some marriage contract forever and ever and ever. Even marriage, if the woman is saying she only wants to be with you and you agree with that, okay, that's y'all contract. But if you have 2, 3 wives, I'm not teaching people polygamy and all that. I'm just saying, whatever you got is for you. It's your kingdom. If the women are happy, whatever. Um, And then what's the other one? Or a woman has two, three. So like, why can't a woman have two, three husbands? Why can't she do it? Why can't it? And if you're a woman, I am who I am, and I am the queen of queens. I am the queen and the most high of my kingdom. That's what the women would say, I guess. But and then don't bear false witness, especially in court. Don't lie on other people, and keep your day of rest holy. Keep who I'm holy. I'm gonna tell you guys something. In 4000 BC, a Tom has started to get conjured. That's the Adam they're talking about. 2000 AD is starting the seventh day. 1000 AD to 2000 AD was the sixth day. On the sixth day, mankind was tamed. I'm telling you, they were. And on the seventh day, who I am is bringing in the Sabbath, rest, so that who I am can rest and not see y'all murder people anymore, have wars, and do all the stupid stuff anymore. And if you transliterate Yahweh, it's JB in English. Y used to be J, high V, B used to be high V. The Germans and the French changed all that. Yanez, or John the Baptist, whoever you want to call it, it's spelled Yehohanan in Latin, but that's who they crucify. Yehohanan ben Hakol, Yanez, son of the anointed one. That's all that means, the holy one. And Yanez and Jonathan and John and Giovanni, Jean in French, and I forget what other languages, Juan in Spanish. It transliterates to I am gracious. Yeshua or Joshua or Yehoshua, whatever y'all, it's the salvation of Yeho or the salvation of Yah. So it's Yeshua or Yahshua, or in English, Joshua. And it is I am gracious salvation. Shua means I am salvation, and Yeho means I am gracious. It's just two words put together, because either or it'd be Yanez, Juannie, I am gracious, or Shua, which is salvation. Yeshua, I am gracious salvation. They're just playing with words and languages. It's the same thing over and over. Jacob and Esau, two brothers that hate each other, Cain and Abel. I mean, it's the same thing over and over. They were twins. They talking about Esau's white. Dude's red. So that more sounds like the Native Americans and African Americans. And I'm not saying the African Americans stole anybody's blessing. This is what the Pope and all them wrote. I'm just telling you all, because in real history, they crossbred us and made us slaves. That's why I don't like the way the Bible was written, because they're taking a bunch of scrolls from different cultures, putting it together and calling it the Holy German Book of something. Even when I hear the word God now, I just keep hearing Germany. For the will of Germany, for the will of the Germans. German. Gudon from Guthis, Gud from Norse paganism and mythology. Hele from Norse paganism. There was no hell in the Old Testament. Geohinium was a creation from the Israeli kings who went into the world like they was told not to and started creating torment and afterlives. And really it's from Africa. The 42 laws of Mu'ah with the 12 judges. Come on, man. That talk to the crocodile, and if your heart is eaten and weighs more than a feather, the bird. Man, they're just stealing lore and culture over. And it reminds me of Rick and Morty when he went back to save Morty. He's like, why is everything punk bird? The same falcon from the beginning. Atom, or the mound that created itself in the wind. The Amun Ra. And if you guys do research on who Moses was, Moses, he was coming with the Amun Ra. Just like Akhenaten with the Aten. So that's why I don't argue with people. I just simply let them. So either their Bibles, and the Bible is a recreation of a bunch of biblical scrolls, Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff. So I just simply teach. I don't gotta argue with people. I just let them. It's like Foxy Sphinx says. Just you being willfully ignorant. He wouldn't say that for no reason. So I don't know what any of that means. I don't. From my perspective, they're just fans getting to know Big Daddy. You know, if I met who I am for the first time, I'd be excited too. I want to say a bunch of stuff and learn and woo. And a lot of times people are just testing my character to see my emotions and different things so they can be like me. What does it say in that Bible? No gods before me. So they're just getting to know who I am. You know what I mean? I see the Germans put the Lord God there because they wanted to be like Big Daddy. Now I am here and they will be utterly fucking destroyed. But what does it mean to utterly destroy somebody? People's characters destroyed all the time. They tried to destroy me like the prophet. That was their judgment. So, you know, I'm talking about Israel and Germany. Because first of all, if you look up the Israeli flag and the Greek flag, it's the same thing. One is a star and one is a flag, cross. Same thing. Keep telling y'all they're the Germans now. The Greeks went up and tried to tame the Anglo-Saxons just like the Romans, and they ended up creating the Germans. Well, after a while, the Germans became it even says Anglo-Saxon Friesens Jutes. Take the T out of that. Take the cross out of Jutes, and what do you get? Jews. I'm telling you all this stuff. Ashkenazi. Where does that word come from? Ashke is from the root word of from punji, it means to be excited. And you know what the last part of that word means. Sephardic. It's from the Turkish origins of a root tree, meaning they're the root of humanity. But that's not fucking true at all. They keep talking about Mesopotamia, Syria. Dude, you guys, it's irritating. But hey, everybody's got their cosplay. Because their own scholars and people that tell the truth are saying it all came from Africa. There are cities and temples. Okay, so they talk about the Stonehenge. There's Stonehenges in Africa that are observatories and sundials. But if people will go research this and learn this, they'd know mathematics, astrology, farming, all things came out the motherland, and then people branched out and came back and attacked. There were no pharaohs in Egypt. There was no Egypt. Those are Semitic words, Greek words. The Hyksos came and invaded Egypt in around 1900 BC after Mentuhotep II fixed it. And then what happens? Ahmose has to come and fix everything. But a lot of people don't know this stuff. They like reading the Bible, which is like a fairy tale, the way they use it. Well, if you're going to play fairy tales, I'm going to treat you like a fairy tale, and I'm going to let your wildest dreams come true, just not in the way you imagined. Because I am who I am. And a lot of people have signed contracts in my name, made promises. Every time I see somebody say, the Lord Jesus is master, we have to do the will of God. I get excited when they say that, even though I don't know what those words mean. Because I'm translating in my heart to say who I am. Because in their books, I told y'all, God, Jesus is in the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran. Allah's name means I am who I will be. It was Eshra, Elia, Eshra, something like that. That's African. And in the Old Testament is I am who I am. I am the one who frees. And then in John 4:36, I think it says, I am the Messiah. So it's all the same thing, the word and the spirit, right there in plain sight. But people are playing with God's names like they were told not to do, idols and stuff. So a lot of people have made contracts, promises, eternal promises, promise to be my wives forever, all type of stuff. Or to be my children forever, whatever. Wife or children, what I see fit. If I see little children running around, hi, little beautiful loved ones. If I see beautiful women running around, it is what it is. Now, that can be a metaphor, or that can be because I abhor rape. I don't play that shit. But this is more of a psychological meaning. So if I go up and start teaching somebody something and they become a part of my team, y'all made promises anyway. Can't nobody on this earth accuse me. Anybody coming in the name of Allah, Jesus, or God cannot say not one word to me. Anybody coming with Hashem, Baruch Hashem, my name is Bruce. Bruce Hagios. Y'all are all literally bearing my name and don't know it. Juannie Duke Bruce Jr. It's so funny. And they'll talk about Yon as the greatest prophet, a name they obviously don't understand. It's funny. So I just sit back and take control of the system how I will. And the creation cannot harm who I am. And if you all will start to listen, greater things you all will do. It is written this. But I don't care about the name Jesus, because sus is Latin for pig, and Jehovah and all this other stuff is where they got Yehohanan from. They're taking people's names, just like Atum, Adam, Cain, Cain, the farmer, mean Narmer. They're taking these people's names and transliterating them and making Africans look silly. But every time we break out their cages, just like how we went from slaves and not being able to read and write and being killed, to now there was affirmative action. Now there was equal hire and public aid and all this other stuff. We're trying to change the world. But if you all would like to come along and help, then come along. If not, hey, you guys went from the plantation to tasseling to the corporate plantation. You want to make it worse and worse? Go ahead. I never read the Quran. Listen, if you will read the book of Joshua, in the book of Joshua it says, have no strong drinks. There is a reason why I don't read any more books. Because I'm already full of strong courage and goodwill. And as long as I study the book of instruction and the law, the 10 Commandments, I don't have nothing else to worry about and can build from there. So I know the 10 Commandments, but if I make a lot more different teachings and creeds, are they helping me live, or are they heavy stones to be carried like the Pharisees? Did you know that the Pope started the Quran in Islam? No, they won't do history or read or anything. Muhammad was sanctioned by the Pope to even get started doing any of this. He was in the Middle East minding his business. But they don't like history. But then Muhammad, being as wise as he was, found the spirit and broke away from the Pope and started battling the Pope. The Pope sent himself on a demise. But then what happens? Islam becomes the caliphate and becomes princes and kings. It's the same thing the federal government's doing. The federal government is becoming the Islamic caliphate. So I'm not going to read the Quran. I know what Muhammad was like. I have plenty of teachings and knowledge about him. And while he's saying I never read the Quran, my grandfather was in the Nation of Islam, knows nothing about me, Johnny. But he changed his name to Khalil Muhammad. Farrakhan held me as a baby. I don't need to argue with silly people online. My grandfather's name is literally Johnny. It's like the irony of it all. It's like weird. I don't know if this system is replicating itself. I'm not judging, brother. If you would listen to I'm telling Muslims to flee from all this. I'm with the Muslims just as much as I'm with righteous Christians. I know the Quran. My grandfather used to. I am calm. Brother, I'm not your enemy. The point of the stream, what does the stream say? Israel, please stop. I'm with you. I've talked to multiple Muslims, but when I tell them any of this, they keep telling me to find Allah. And I tell them what Allah means and they won't listen. I'm making you all gods. I am making you all Allah's most highs. But you guys are so stuck on God and Allah that you're not listening to what I'm telling you. God and Allah are words. If you listen to the real spirit, they're words. His spirit is within you. Her spirit is within you if you're a female. You're the most, okay, Majido, you're the most high. You control whatever you want around you. Allah and God are tools to help you stay level. If you were truly following who I am, it would be about not causing harm. So, okay, I say Israel stop. I want Hezbollah and Hamas to stop just as bad as them. But I'm not going to sit here and watch movies like Robin Hood and listen to movies about being so righteous and how we had to battle, blah, blah, blah. And then watch Islam in the UK and the Middle East set off these insurgencies. France is still sending France was still killing African presidents. Belgium's national anthem is still talking about slaves. Stop fucking playing fairy tale land with these stupid fucking religions. Europe is doing negative satanic shit. Russia's not wrong for attacking Ukraine. There were Nazis everywhere. I did my own fucking research. Islam is not innocent. While you get on here telling the African American man to read the Quran, y'all enslaved Africans first. Stop with the bullshit. Because I'm not in the fucking mood no more. And I will start writing poetry to take away the religion off this fucking planet if y'all keep playing with me with cosplay. I'm sick of fucking Islamic women being treated the way they are. I'm sick of fucking African men and African American men being treated the way they are. I'm sick of African Americans and Africans arguing over whose oppression was worse after the Congo had done what it done and after these Native Americans and African had done what they're done. I'm sick of the fucking fairy tales. I want people to wake the fuck up and act like adults. Not pretend like they're lefties, we're so cool with blacks and we have institutions where it's equal and colors are real, while every fucking application is dealt with by AI and has African American, Native American, Hispanic on a steal. Color is fucking real, and you all sent us into a negative box of crayons. And I want this shit fixed. I don't give a fuck what name, Hindu, Brahma, Allah, God, Jesus, I don't give a fuck. Hashem y'all ass into fixing the fucking world and stop killing children. Because if you believe in any of those books, believe in what I am telling you all. I don't give a fuck which organization y'all advocate for. If y'all do not stop feeding the poor, if y'all don't start feeding the poor, if y'all don't start helping these, while y'all bitch about fucking abortions, while y'all fucking contraception and all this bullshit, and so if y'all don't start helping these fucking orphans, if y'all don't start helping these widows that y'all have created because of these stupid fucking wars, if y'all don't start feeding these real Jewish women that are on these ads talk about please in the name of Judah and all this stuff and Hashem feed us, while y'all give Israel billions of fucking dollars, you motherfuckers are walking around in buildings with iron domes and shit talking about you're afraid of terrorism, while these people are catching straight fucking bombs to the head. I'm watching social media influencers show videos of buildings next to them get blown to fucking bits, while y'all are worried about cats and fucking dogs. I'm tired of the cosplay, and if my shit isn't fixed, old school Yadve, old school JB is about to resurrect real fucking quick. Because I can only be grace and mercy for so long, until I am who the fuck I will be show up.